Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today as it's video number 2 out of 2. If you haven't caught the video, the unexpected video from earlier on where we dive into Pochettino's comments or his last comments on the press conference that took place earlier on today, go and check it out right here because that was definitely a twist that I don't think many people expected, especially today. So I gave my thoughts, go over there and have a look and contribute to the conversation in the comments. For this one though, we're going to get to business. It's the preview for Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea taking place tomorrow. And it's a late kickoff compared to all the others. It is a 5:30. So we are going to be in a position where we've already seen what would have happened between Brighton and Newcastle taking place at St James's Park. And we're going to be paying attention to that because we need Brighton. Well, not need. It would help. If Brighton beat Newcastle, we are in a fantastic position. We need Newcastle to slip up once now. United have slipped. Cool. They're in our rearview mirror at the moment. They're behind us. We need Newcastle to slip up one game. They slip up one game, we're in the driving seat. Hoping, I never thought I'd say this, but hoping Brighton can for once do us a favour, yeah? How many favours have we given you? Time after time after time. Most of them indirect favours we didn't really intend on giving, but we were a little either naive or stupid. But we've given all sorts of not just footballing favours, but financial favours, responsibility favours. I mean, all sorts of favours, right? We've taken their manager, we've taken their directors, we've taken their players, we've given them money, we've done all sorts. How about you give us something, yeah? Brighton to beat Newcastle. Beat Newcastle and then beat Man United. And I would have at least a bit of respect for Brighton as a Chelsea fan. So we're going to be paying attention to that. Newcastle versus Brighton is going to be a very interesting fixture. That takes place at 3 o'clock. Then we play at 5:30, Nottingham Forest. Now, we are in the race now, as I thought it was dead. I'll be honest, I told you guys, I was like, nah, it's not happening. I wasn't expecting United to slip. Not in that fashion. They lost 4-0 to Crystal Palace. I thought there was no chance of that happening. Lo and behold, it's happened. So that's opened the door. The door that was on the borderline of being locked at the top end and the bottom end, and the top and the bottom of the doors with the latches, right? All sorts of locked. It's all been unlocked and the door is flung open. We can get Europa League football. We can still finish 6th. So is all to play for. Nottingham Forest, though, are in a situation where they've had their appeal recently rejected in terms of their points deduction. They are sitting 17th, 3 points clear of Luton Town with 2 games to go. They need results. They need results. They need to not slip up as well, because if they do, Luton will be there to pick up the pieces. Now, as it stands, Burnley are still mathematically in the Premier League, but if Nottingham Forest get one more point, it's over, I think. Yeah, it is, yeah. If they get 1 point, it's over. So Nottingham Forest have something to play for here. They've got Luton breathing down their necks, and it's going to be interesting. Luton have to play against West Ham. That's tough for Luton. But Nottingham Forest know that they've beaten us at the Bridge and they're going to try and do it again here at their ground. So it's going to be an interesting game. But let me make it clear, just like I've made it clear in the last few days. We have to beat Forest. We have to beat... who are we playing? My mind's gone blank. Bloody Brighton. How could I forget? And then we got to beat Bournemouth. And if we do that, as long as Newcastle slip up once, we are in a good position. And then we will be waiting to see what happens in the FA Cup final between Man City and Man United. Because if we finish 6th, we still need Man United to lose the cup final. Because if United finish out of the top 6 and they win the FA Cup, they get Europa League and we get Conference League. You see where it stands? So even getting 6th isn't going to be the 100% guarantee. we need City to win the FA Cup final, which I have to say right now looks pretty likely. So let's wait and see. Going into this game, it's all guns blazing. Funnily enough, we heard what Pochettino said in this press conference, like we've mentioned. Whether that puts a spanner in the works or something, I don't think so. Not for the football, because the relationship between the players and the manager seems to be good. And I think they play for him. And I think it's only within that bubble that's going to affect what happens on the pitch tomorrow and going into the end of the season. So I'm hoping we keep up. As Todd Bowley has said, the last 2.5 games, right? Let's make it 3.5, and then let's make it 4.5, and then let's make it 5.5, and then we have something to talk about. Maybe we are becoming consistent. Maybe, but only after that point, not now. We got work to do. So we have to beat Nottingham Forest. In terms of the latest team news, it's looking a lot more optimistic. I have to be honest. I'm actually going to show you this on screen. Let me get this set for you. Here it is. So, Reece James is back in full team training. Leslie Ugochukwu is back in full team training. Robert Sanchez is in partial team training. He won't be available. And then after that, we've only got 5 players on the injury list, basically. Ben Chilwell is still continuing his rehab. Chukwuemeka, Enzo, Fofana and Lavia, who we've already known are all ruled out for the rest of the season anyway. So, interesting. Funnily, how 14 has now turned to 5. Technically, actually 6. Sanchez is included there. So, it's getting shorter. But Reece James is in contention. We did have the update by Pochettino saying that Reece James is going to be available, it seems, at least for the bench. So he won't start. He's only just come back into full team training. He definitely won't start. I'll be shocked if he starts. And I've just seen news. Everton have withdrawn their points appeal. Wow. Okay. So it's going to be an interesting one on the basis of Reece James being available for selection. Should he start? No. Should he even play? Personally, no. Only way, and we have to take into consideration that Reece James has had surgery, the only way that he plays is if we know he is 200% ready to go. 200, not 100, 200% ready to go. Simple as that. If not, don't do it. We got Gusto available. Even Gusto, I would start on the bench, and I will explain that when I get into the starting 11. But Reece James, with Gusto available, do not risk him. Be patient. Let him get back to complete match fitness. As far as I'm concerned, I think he should be ready for the start of the new season and not now. Or pre-season, should we say. So that's my opinion anyway. But only play him, please, if he's 200%. He's had surgery. That's the most optimistic thing we know about him. Let's see if he's recovered, and then play him if he's 200%. Apart from that, it's the same sort of players that were available against West Ham when we beat them 5-0. Now, that was a fantastic display. In terms of going forward now, what do we do? Now, Nottingham Forest, I've not actually got team news for. That's not been revealed yet. So, I don't know who's available for Forest or who isn't. I can only tell you based on what their last game was, what their selection was. And their last game, they beat Sheffield United 3-1. Sheffield United went down to 10 men very late, but they beat them 3-1. Their lineup, when you look at it, same sort of suspects. Ola Aina, ex-Chelsea, is in that lineup. Elanga started. Gibbs-White. Hudson-Odoi is someone that we have to pay attention to. He's definitely going to be starting this game. He's starting this game. And Wood up top, of course, as usual. Now, Hudson-Odoi is in some form at the moment. The last game, he bagged 2 goals, right? And I have to be honest, a couple of good goals, right? We got to be careful. And I think that's going to be a nice little match between Hudson-Odoi and whoever's playing right back. And I'm going to tell you who I think should play right back, and I will explain why, and I think it will be pretty evident and obvious why. Right? But Hudson-Odoi, I've seen some of the hype. Some Chelsea fans are going, oh my God, we shouldn't have let him go. I'm not doing that. We absolutely, at that time, should have let him go. Right? And he went. And fair play. Now, have we upgraded? That's a different question. Have we actually done the homework and the due diligence? Nah. We got Mudryk. We'll see what happens. But Hudson-Odoi, look, he's playing his football. He's playing regularly. He's doing well. And fair play to him. Good luck to him. And I hope he actually succeeds. And I'm very happy to see him doing what he's doing at Nottingham Forest. Tomorrow would be one hell of a statement if he dunked on us, right? I hope not. Because then definitely Chelsea fans are going to be talking. But Hudson-Odoi will be playing. And it will be good to see him. What I did see a couple of days ago I think he was on, someone took like an Insta post or something of him, and he was having a kickabout, I think, out of the club, like, I don't know, in his area or something, or with people, and he was wearing Chelsea. I'm like, Callum. Proper Chelsea. Anyway, that was nice to see. Apart from that, that basically sums up who I expect to start for Nottingham Forest. We will see the team news when it comes out. But going into the starting 11, what should we do? I think it's pretty obvious. Let's get right into it. Here it is. I've put it straight on screen for you guys. Straight on screen, right? We're not hesitating. We're not going to falter. We're not going to go one by one. We're putting it all out there for you guys to see. It's basically the same team that played against West Ham, right? I've got one area of the pitch where I've had a little bit of a think as to, well, should we or should we not? And that is Badiashile. But I've kept him in. Normally what I would do is Thiago Silva, Chalobah, Malo Gusto. But I don't feel like we can do that when we've got a certain Cucurella to talk about. You know where I'm going now, maybe some of you. Cucurella absolutely needs to keep doing this inverted fullback role. 100%. Keep doing it, right? Pochettino needs to keep implementing that. It's working like a charm. Not to say it's going to work every single game, but it gives us a dynamic. Now, when he pushes forward into the midfield and he adds himself as an additional midfield player, what happens to the defence? It shifts over and we end up with a centre-back 3. Badiashile as a left centre-back, Thiago Silva as the centre-back, and Chalobah at right-back, who becomes the right centre-back. Am I right? That is why the defence needs to say the same. If we went with what I suggested before, and we went with Thiago Silva, Chalobah, and Malo Gusto, it would mean Thiago Silva would become the left centre-back, Chalobah would become the centre-back, and Malo Gusto would become the right centre-back. And I feel like on the left-hand side, that's a little bit of imbalance, because I'd prefer Thiago Silva to move central, and I would prefer Trevor Chalobah to be the right centre-back, not the left centre-back. Badiashile fits the bill as a left centre-back, which is why I think he's been playing well when Cucurella does shift forward into the midfield role as an inverted fullback. So this is where I think keep it the same. Don't interrupt it. And then later on, if we have to, we bring on Gusto. Remember, is he match fit yet 100%? There's question marks, we don't know. So even then, bring him on later like we did against West Ham. Bring him on later. Same applies to Nkunku, who I'm about to come to. So that's the back four, Petrovic in goal, Caicedo, Gallagher in uninterrupted. Uninterrupted. Do not touch it. It's working really good. There's a good balance there between the work on the ball and the work off the ball. The dirty side, both are complementing each other, and Gallagher is pushing forward and he's even scoring goals. So fantastic. Palmer, just ahead of him in the 10, player of the month, by the way. He just got player of the month, and he's the first player since Eden Hazard at Chelsea to get player of the month. Eden Hazard, do you know how long ago that was? That's how long we've been in the trenches. It's ridiculous. Anyway, Palmer, player of the month. I think it's both EA Sports and Budweiser player of the month. He's the first one to do that since Eden Hazard. And then the front three, again, picks itself because of the games that we've had against Spurs and West Ham. It's continuity. We keep doing it. Keep doing it, right? Don't interrupt it. I wouldn't mind, later on though, having Jackson shift over to the left. Jackson shifting over to the left, right? And Nkunku coming in. That's another player who is available, but I would bring him on because we got to be gentle with him too. These players that we got to be gentle with, we're thinking about next season, we're not thinking about now. These players, though, should be able to get the job done against Nottingham Forest. Nkunku coming on later, Jackson shifting over to the left, I think could be something that we could try if we've got the game already wrapped up. Now, Jackson, I have to be real. Is he having a good season? You'd think no, he's not. I think even he would tell you that. And he did speak not long ago saying that I could do better. And I like that. Fair play. He definitely could do better. And he spoke about the chances that he's missed. And he's like, I've missed things I shouldn't miss. Fair play. Okay, cool. Get to work. Let's move, right? Which is why I think we need to bring in a striker and someone that can be an example and a leader up to him. But it's funny that he's actually got more goals and assists than Kai Havertz, who's having a wonder season apparently at Arsenal, isn't he? Amazing how that works. So I got to give Jackson credit in that regard. In a season where he's not shown up, he's shown up, kind of. Do you know what I mean? If he was banging all these chances in, he'd probably be up there with Erling Haaland. So listen, not Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer knows where the goal is. Nicholas Jackson needs to keep working, just keep working. And I would love if he had someone to look up to and a mentor and a leader and someone that can take pressure off. But I know that personally, I feel like he's much more effective on that left-hand side. And I do want to see that eventually. But I don't want to interrupt this team that beat West Ham in the manner that it did. And the same goes for the Tottenham game. So keep it the same. That would be my starting 11. And then the substitutes, like I've mentioned, Gusto and Nkunku, these guys can come on later. That would be my 11. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, but that's my starting 11. And as I let you guys know, watch along tomorrow. Make sure you're here. We'll be able to get the reactions straight away out of the Newcastle game and straight into the Chelsea game as we watch the game together to see what happens against Forest. My prediction. Well, we got to win. And I think the players know that now, and the team knows that, and Poch knows that. We've got something to play for here. I am... For first time in a while, I'm actually motivated. Like, I want us to get this result tomorrow by any means necessary. We have to. We ain't got a choice. Backs against the wall. Do we want to play some sort of respectable European football next season? No, I'm not counting Conference League. That's not respectable. Do we want to? Well, it's in our hands. Win. So I want to say, tomorrow, Forest, I'd like to think we show up. I'd like to think we keep the momentum. And I'm going to go with... I don't want to get too cocky. I don't want to say 3-1 or 3-0. I'm going to go with Nottingham Forest 1. Chelsea 2. Narrow 2-1 win. I'll take it. Let me know yours in the comment section below. What's your predictions? Let me know. And I will catch all of you on the watch long tomorrow. Make sure you're here for that. Like I've already said, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And I will catch all of you tomorrow as we go through the motions once again. I'll see you then. Have a good one, people. In a bit. Take care and peace.